I did. There we go. I'm talking and you guys can't see me. All right. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International. And today is Sunday morning, October 1st. And we are going to jump right into this thing, talking about how modern mortgage lending is financial violence. Oh, we're going to reveal some secrets about lending today that we've never revealed before on this show. But I have Rose Little Lewis with us this morning. How are you doing, Rose?
I'm good, Don.
See, people always talk to you when you walk away. Why do they do
I
that? Why
know.
do they do that?
No, but listen, I wasn't walking away. I actually was setting up my house. I didn't set one up yet. So I was like in the middle, just, typing away. And it was like, you called me.
All right. Well,
Okay. Hey.
I'll tell you what, Rose. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself to the folks, tell them what you do, and then I won't bother you anymore until you jump in with a question. How's that?
Perfect. Perfect.
Go
Hey,
right ahead.
everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy October 1st. It's Breast Cancer Month. So I want to give my my high spirit to those that are fighting cancer or have family and friends of women that have breast cancer. I want to give some love and light to you guys this month, highlighting the courageous women that are battling cancer. So kudos to you guys. But hey, everyone, my name is Rose Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess, all things credit score improvement strategist, business credit coach, NAV business loan broker, and an educator in the credit space. So I'm here to support Don on this topic. Modern mortgage lending is financial violence. I would love to hear how he's going to deep dive into this subject here. So go ahead and invite your friends. Let's talk about it. Now that student loans are back on the map for you guys, I just want to hear how we're going to combat this and the mortgage at the same time. Did we talk about that? Or did you talk about
Oh
this?
yeah, I have two shows on.
Student loans?
Yeah, I have two shows. You guys want to do a search and on our YouTube channel about student loans. In fact, there is a new program called the SAVE program. SAVE. You can just some highlights. You can apply now. And most people who do have a student loan payment, that student loan payment will most likely be cut in half. Some of you will be able to get a zero payment, zero qualify for a zero loan payment, and whether you qualify for a lower payment or a zero payment, after 20 years, your student loans are forgiven. Period. So you want to check into the SAVE program and then go ahead and look and do a search, and we'll be able to find a couple of programs that we did on the SAVE program already.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They definitely should take advantage of that for sure, for sure. Especially for those that are wondering how they're going to be able to make their student loan payment. Going into those type of programs, especially knowing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. After 20 years, it will be forgiven. Definitely tap into it. If you guys don't know, student loans, some people pay on it forever because of how it's broken down. When you make your monthly payments, is not tackling the principal payments, so it's like you're paying forever. So definitely get into that program, and so that way you at least know at the end of the program that you're going to have some of them forgiven. So definitely tap in.
Rose, did you realize?
Yes.
Did you realize that before, if you had an income-based payment, and your payment did not cover all of the interest, then that interest was added onto your loan and you started paying interest on interest.
Mm-hmm.
That has been
Yes.
done away with. No more of that.
What?
That's
Are you
gone. Totally gone
serious?
in this new
That's
SAVE
good.
program. Yes, they can't do that anymore.
Oh,
Okay. So any
wow.
interest that goes unpaid because you have a income-based payment is now forgiven instantly. Boom, it's gone.
That's good. Now it doesn't increase the debt
Yes, your
because
debt will no
that's
longer
what it
increase.
did.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
if you go ahead and apply today on the SAVE program, all right, and if you go ahead and apply, let's say you get a payment, but it doesn't fit in your budget, they'll give you a 1 year on ramp so that you can get your finances in order so that you can start making those lower payments. Oh my goodness. There is
Oh,
so
I
much.
like that.
There's so much going on with this SAVE program. You all need to look into that right away. You know what? I should have had the links ready. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find the links while we're talking about this. Let me see. Student loan.
You
Okay.
know what? That this should be a topic. I don't know if you dove into it, but this should be a topic to talk about because I know a
Okay.
lot of people are dreading to make their payments, but if they understand the program a little better, I know a lot of them would just race to it and get it started.
All right. I'm putting this in the chat. Okay. Here is the student loan. Here's the student loan fact sheet. I'm putting that in the chat right now. All right, I found my notes on that. There we go. That is, I put that in the chat and also put it at the top of I'm also going to link it at the top of the page. All right. So let's go ahead and pin that link at the top of the page about student loans. There we go. That is a government fact sheet, ladies and gentlemen. So you want to get that information. I'm also going to put the link in in the chat so you can apply for the SAVE program today. So let me copy that. Let's put that in the chat as well. This is how you can apply for the SAVE program today. It is the best thing going. This is the most impactful change to student loan repayment since forever. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Okay. So, so a little bit of information about that. And thank you for bringing that up this morning, Rose, because today is the day. Today is the day. Oh, and here's a different.
What's the day?
Oh, that you said the student loan payments start today. So you were right.
Oh, yes, it's October. Yes. Yes.
Yes. You,
Yes.
you were so right about that. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Michelle Nettles. How are you? So everybody's saying good morning to, and I have a different. This fact sheet is from direct from the White House that I'm putting in the chat right now. So that's information about student loans and how they're changing. But on my shows that I did before, I went into the history of student loans and I gave you some links on different resources that you can study the origin and the history of student loans. You know, it didn't start out to be a loan program. You know that, Rose? It didn't start out to be a loan
No,
program.
I didn't know that. What did it start off
It
with?
started out to be free college education.
Well, then why did we have to start paying?
Because people complain that we shouldn't be giving out free college education, so it devolved into a student loan program.
Who said that?
I'm telling you this way back when, way back when. So
Wow.
listen, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch, but we got a lot of stuff to cover today. I've got a lot of people in here right now, but I have too many. You know what I've got, Rose? I have too many people in the audience. Too many people in the audience.
Yes, come on and join us.
Raise your hand, come to the stage, even if you don't say anything, because that will help populate the room. You would be surprised at how that helps. So Rose, would you help me to bring some people up as they raise their
Yes.
hand? I got Michelle up
Yes.
here. Come on, folks, raise your hand. Can I get at least 5 more people up? Come on up. Raise your hand and come on up to the stage. We got, all right, LaShawn, we got her up. Who else?
Right.
Come
Hey,
on,
y'all.
Brenda. All right. I
Come to the family table. Let's go. Let's
That's
go.
right. Get on up here on the stage. Get on up here on the stage. But listen, if you all would like to say good morning or have a quick question or comment, flash your mic. Flash your mic if you have a question or Michelle, how are you doing?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Credit Goddess. I just want to say good morning, everyone, first of all.
Hey,
Thank you for this
Michelle.
room. Hi. I'm gonna listen in, but I'm sure I'll have questions. So I'm gonna let y'all experts handle it. Thank you.
You are so welcome. All right, LaShawn, how are you doing?
Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad all up in it today. Thank you so much for your expertise and sharing.
We just lost you, LaShawn.
Expert. I'm going to listen to you guys, but my issue is mortgage lending, and you're absolutely right. It's a financial violence, and it's a ripoff. And want to know more about your thoughts on that. So thank you for allowing me to share.
You are so welcome. Anybody else? Come on there, jump in. Listen, folks, this is all about you. If it weren't for you, there wouldn't be no show, Miss Paris. Paris, come on up.
Yes, thank you for the space. Thank you for being so warm and welcoming. This is Paris. I just wanted to say good morning, everybody. And I'm here to listen. The title caught me. I do know the etymology of the word mortgage, but financial balance. That's what I always considered gentrification. And mortgage, yeah, we could throw that in there too. So I'm intrigued and ready to go. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Listen, folks, we're going to be putting some things on the screen for you to see. And if you need to see that, let us go ahead and get the link. All right. I'm going to get the YouTube link copy, and we're going to put that in the chat as well. So if you want to see the examples we're going to put on the screen today, you want to go to YouTube on a secondary device and look in on our show live. All right. Or you can go to YouTube and search for Pill Method. And as you search for Pill Method, you will be able to see our live broadcast and click on it there. But I just had the link. All right. And Del Gracia Stewart says, good morning. She is watching us from on YouTube. Horace Jennings says, good morning. Says from Virginia. Good morning to you, Mr. Horace Jennings, watching us on YouTube as well. And we got Nay Wilson. Is the SAVE program for student loans taken from banks too? If it is a government loan, if it is a government-backed loan, the SAVE program covers that. Okay. If it is a government-backed loan, the SAVE program covers that. But go ahead. I am not an expert on this. Go ahead and apply and see if it applies to you. All right. So don't listen. Credit Goddess Rose will tell you, never disqualify yourself. Never disqualify yourself. Go and ask it.
Facts.
Go and ask an
Yes.
expert. All right, folks. So listen, I got some people here on the stage. Listen, I got let's see, Mr. Archie. I just talked to you the other day, Mr. Archie. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Don. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can. My reception can be bad sometimes.
We got you, man. We got you.
Awesome. So first and foremost, I'm going to give honor to God. I'm thankful to be here from California. I truly value your advice, your insight, your wisdom. You truly are a master at your craft, and I give honor where honor is due. And I'm here to learn. I'm here to educate myself and add value in any way that I can. So if I can be a part of or do whatever I can, I will definitely do so. But thank you so much for having us, and thank you for your expertise and your wisdom and your knowledge.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Is there anybody else on the stage that would like to chime in? And listen, folks, if you are here and you want to come up to the stage, even if you don't want to say anything, just come on up. Listen, we love to have you in the room. Roger Farmer, watching us on YouTube, has generously offered some information about his mortgage that we can use as an example today. How about that? So listen, that's and we can use that as our example to go over this thing, and you are going to be surprised as to what's going on. So let's jump in. Does everybody need any other information about the student loans right now? Oh, Lisa Martin, how are you doing? Where did Lisa go? Is Lisa on the stage? She was here for a hot minute and gone, just like that. Anyway, does anybody have any other questions about student loans before we jump into how modern mortgage lending is financial violence? Oh my goodness. So I can't wait. I can't wait to get in there. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and let me put this on the screen. We're going to get that on the screen. And then I need to share screens. There we go. Boom. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Here's what I want. Here's where I want to start today. Okay. Everybody you know wants to get, who's trying to get a mortgage, wants to get the lowest mortgage rate available. And we are looking at the mortgage rate. And that is what we have been taught to look at. What is the rate? And everybody says, well, I got a 3% rate, and I got a 2.9% rate, or I got a 4% rate. They're very proud of the fact that they got a low rate, but they don't know what that really means. What does a low rate really mean? And on Wednesday, when I come back on Wednesday, I'm going to talk about there are real estate investors right now that talk about, because they have a low interest rate, they don't want to prepay their mortgage because the rate is so low. There's no reason to prepay the mortgage, to try to save interest because the rate is so low. I'm going to show you on Wednesday why every real estate investor, why every homeowner should prepay even a low interest rate mortgage. And let's see how we can get your return on investment. Any monies that you use, even at a low percentage rate, let's see how we can get you at least a 100% return on your money. Ooh, does anybody like investing? Would you like to be able to get a 100% return on your money? On Wednesday, we're going to talk about using your low interest rate. All right. Is there any reason to prepay or pay off a loan faster and cheaper, even if it's a low interest rate? We're going to get into that. So I need some help from you, from other people on the stage this morning. I need some help from you as we put information on the screen right now. All right. I need to get this set up correctly. And let's do this screen. Let's do this screen. And we're going to add my second camera there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's my question. Here's my question about this. Did you realize when a mortgage is sold, when you buy your mortgage from Chase Bank, from Regions, from Bank of America, it doesn't matter, wherever you get your mortgage from, do you realize that mortgage is almost immediately sold on the secondary market? Some investor buys your mortgage, and sometimes they're packaged up in what's called mortgage-backed securities. Okay. Now, here's a question I need to ask. It's in two parts, and I need some help from the people on the stage. All right. When you pay your mortgage payment, when you pay a mortgage payment, how is that payment divided up and what happens to it? Somebody tell me, how is the payment divided up and what happens to it? Yes, LaShawn.
Is it the interest and principal?
Yes, it's divided up in principal and interest. Okay, it's divided. Some goes to principal and some goes to interest. So in most cases, LaShawn, is it a lot that goes to principal or a little that goes to principal?
Very little.
Very little, she says.
Very, very little.
And a whole lot goes to interest, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, now here is the next question. And folks, here's what I need you to understand about how these things are divided up and how it actually looks in real life on the back end. So this is what we're taught, but I'm going to show you what really happens. So if an investor, let's say let me see here. I'm going to put we had one of our people in the audience on YouTube. All right, give me some information to put in as a mortgage. So I'm going to put this in $241,000. Okay, 241,000. $805, 805. And if you want to see these numbers, folks, go to YouTube so you can see these numbers. 805.05. And the interest rate is 7.103. 7.103. That way you know I'm not making this up. 360 payments. Okay. Here is the principal and interest payment. It is $1,625.50. I want to tell you right now that if there was a comparable house in the area, chances are that the rent is going to be more than this. Chances are. All right. So buying a house is going to be a good deal overall instead of just renting it, because you're able, and we're going to be able to show you how you can facilitate getting equity faster and cheaper. Faster and cheaper. We're going to show you what that really means. Now, when we break this payment down, I want to show you something. $194.22 goes to principal on the very first payment. And LaShawn, just like you said, $1,431.28 goes to interest. So it costs something to move this loan. Hey, Dennis Glebe, coming all the way from Elkhart Grove, California. Good morning to you. He's watching us on YouTube. So $194 goes to principal. $1,431.28 is going to interest. So here's what I need you to understand. The total payment on this, and I need you guys to listen closely. The total payment is $1,625.50. If I'm a real estate investor, and I bought your mortgage, when you pay your $1,625.50, how much do I receive as the investor? How much of that money do I receive when you pay your $1,625.50? I got some Miss McKinney watching from Auckland, New Zealand. Hey, listen, we have clients in Australia, and I don't have a client. We're not doing any business in New Zealand. So listen, we would love to help people out in New Zealand. So thank you very much for being here and watching us from New Zealand. So anybody, either online, tell me what happens. Horace Jennings says all of it. All of that money, $1,625.50 goes, every single penny goes to the investor. Stop to think about that. Now, we just broke this thing down and said some money goes to principal and some money goes to interest. Okay. Then how is it that the real estate investor gets all $1,625.50? So what happens on the back end? What really happens on the back end if the investor is going to get all of that money? Now, that investor is hoping to get that money for what, 30 years? Okay. So what is actually driving the loan? What is actually driving the loan? Here is the secret. When you have an amortization schedule, you've got a formula. All right. And let me bring up the formula here. All right. All right. All right, amortization formula. There it is. All right, it's on the screen right now. This is the formula. What you need to understand, folks, is the interest rate does not control how many payments you make on this loan. The interest rate is the interest rate. You see, can I give you an example? Can I give you an example of what I'm talking about? All right, so let's go back let's go back. This thing here, the most important part of this is not the interest rate. The important part of this formula is how it figures how much goes to principal. The interest doesn't drive the loan. The principal payment drives the loan. Don, what are you talking about? The principal payment is so small. Let me tell you how important the principal payment is on this thing. So when we take a look at, yes, example, please. Mr. Kitty said, so watch this. So you have, this is my mortgage here, all right? And I'm going to duplicate this tab, all right? So here's my mortgage. Now I have 360 payments here, 360 payments, okay? And if I have 360 payments, what if I didn't want a 30-year loan? What if I wanted a 25-year loan? Okay. What if I wanted a 25-year loan? Now, on the 30-year loan, the very first interest payment is $1,431.28. If I have a 20-year loan, will the first interest payment, will it be less? Will it be more, or will it be the same? If I have a 25-year loan instead of a 30-year loan, okay? So I'm going to change this to 300 payments, all right? And we're going to get a new payment amount. It's not $1,625.50 anymore. Our new payment amount is, delete that, 300 payments is $1,724.95. So my payment has just increased to $1,724.95. But what about the interest payment? Is the interest payment more or less or about the same? Who can tell me? All right. Who wants to guess? Somebody online guess. Somebody in the that is on my stage. Just guess. I need you. Listen, I love it when we can talk back to each other. Paris?
I'm going to guess less.
All right, you're going to guess less. Most people would. Okay? All right? And Dennis Glebe online says it's the same, only because he's been to my class. I want to show you something. Here is the 360-month payment, $1,431.28. Here is the 300-month payment, or 25 years, $1,431.28. It is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Oh man, what if we did this? We took this loan, and now let's just chop it all the way down to 15 years. That's 180 payments. 180 payments. Okay, I could go slower, but I don't want to run out of time today. Oh, just so that you know, this is usually a 2-hour show. I may have to go over today. All right, I may have to go over. So just because of the questions that are going to arise out of this thing. 1724.95 is now is now the payment. We have 180 payments now. So now my new mortgage payment is $2,187.36. Let me take a look at the interest payment now. It is $1,431.28. The interest rate on these loans is not the driving factor. It is not. In fact, if you look at the first 5 years on all three loans, I got the 360-month loan. Okay, let's go down to 5 years. The total interest paid on this loan so far in just 5 years is $83,000, which is a lot of money. $83,588. On the 25-year loan, it's $82,416. Look at that. It is virtually the same. It is just about the same amount of money. What about the 15-year loan? The 15-year loan should be a lot less money in the first 5 years, wouldn't you say? Okay. The 15-year loan, let's take a look. 5 years in, 5 years in, well, it's 76,000. 76,967 versus 82,000 versus 83,000. You would think that a 15-year loan, the interest would be a lot less in the first 5 years, but it's not. But on all three loans, in the first few months, the interest payments are virtually the same. 1431 here, 1430 the next month. 1431, 1429, and then 1431, and then 1426. In the first few months, the interest payments are so close together. Let me show you the difference in these loans. I need you to take a look at this. On the principal payment on the 15-year loan, look, it is $756.08. Look at this one. That is the 15-year loan. Watch the principal payment on the 25-year loan. Oh, it's $293.67. Look at the big difference between the principal payment on these two loans. $756 going to principal, and on the 25-year loan, it's $293. On the 30-year loan, it's $194. This formula that we had on the screen earlier, more than anything else, determines how much principal you pay each month. And here is the secret that you have all been wanting to hear. When the real estate investor, the investor that buys your mortgage, okay, the one thing that they're most afraid of is prepayment, because they're looking to get this money for 30 years or for 20 years or for 15 years. Well, no matter whatever your mortgage, whatever your mortgage contract calls for. Let's say it's a 30-year mortgage. They want to get that money for 30 years. So what happens? This money here, the $194.22, determines how many times they'll be able to charge you. Because see, the real estate investor gets all of the money. The real estate investor gets all $1,625.50. But $194.22, that is a credit, not actual money received. That is a credit to your loan balance. Your loan balance is credited $194.22, but the investor gets the whole amount. Are you hearing me today? So if what's credited is $194.22, so now you started out at one, and here is your new principal balance is $241,610.83. So they get to charge you again on this loan. Oh, no, it's not a different loan, Don. It's the same loan. Nope. If you look at this thing, the first, they borrowed $241,805.05. That's how much they borrowed. Because of this formula, they put $194.22 on the balance. And now they owe $241,610. This is a brand new loan. You see, folks, the way this thing is set up, the way this amortization schedule is set up, it doesn't give you one loan at 7%. It gives you 360 separate ones if you follow their program and follow and how they want you to pay principal. Because you paid this little bit of principal, you now have 359 times left that they can charge you. That's what this means. You paid the principal. That means you paid it down just this much, and now they can charge you 359 more times. That's all that means. What? Now, let's break down what actually happens. So if we take this 7.1 7.103. I'm going to put this in a calculator, and we're going to figure out how they do this. 7.103, and we're going to make that a percent. So it's 0.0713. That's how you put it in as a decimal. What the formula does to this, it divides this number into 12 by 12, divides it by 12. So we're going to divide it by 12. This is the number the bank is using on this mortgage. The 0.005919166666 and a bunch of sixes and a 7 at the end. That's what the computer does. That's what this formula does to the 7% loan. It turns it into this. And this is the number that they use to determine how much principal you pay each month. Oh, yeah. Well, the interest is as well, but more importantly, the amount of principal that goes to the loan. So watch this. So we're going to take the original amount of this loan, which is $241,805.05, and multiply it by this number here. So we multiply it by $241,805.05. All right, equals 1431.28. And if we go down and take a look at it, what? 1431.28. That is the first interest payment. So what's left over goes to principal. That's the first interest payment. Here's the first principal payment. Now, what happens next? Because I paid $194.22 is accredited to my balance, but the investor got the whole amount. The investor says, I hope they don't pay any more than the $194.22 on principal. That's what I'm hoping. I hope they don't pay any more than that. Because if they do, it's going to hurt me. How does it hurt? Let me show you. Now, if we take a look at that interest rate again, we got our interest rate is 7.103. All right. And there we go, 0.00. Okay, and we divide that by 12 equals. That's our number. That's our magic number that we're using. Because I paid a $194.20, not paid, but what was credited to principal, the amount that I owed, now it looks like in the bank's computer, I owe $241,610.83. So now they're going to use this number in calculating my principal and interest, how it's divided up. Okay. So now the investor gets this money and gets my whole payment, and how much is now going to be credited to principal. Let's see. We're going to multiply that by $241,610.83. My next interest payment is $1430.13. Look at that. $1430.13. And now my principal that gets applied to my balance is $195.37. And if I pay them $195, if I don't do anything with that and only apply $195.37 to principal, then the investor gets to charge me 358 more times. Every single time. Now, what can I do? Do I want the investor? You tell me, folks, put it in the chat. put it online. If you have a 30-year loan, do you want this investor, because we don't understand this, do you want the investor to be able to charge you 360 times? Huh? Tell me. Put it in here. Do you want the investor to be able to charge you 306? Horace Jennings says no. All right. Oh, and listen. So Miss McKinney says, oh, look at this. She says, wow. Look at that. She says, wow to that. Horace Jennings says no. Let me take a look at my chat. Let me see here. Credit Goddess says no. Jennifer Trans says no with exclamation points. And LaShawn James says absolutely no. We don't want the investor to be able to charge us 360 times. And that's what this formula does more than anything else. Folks, if that isn't financial violence, I don't know what is. Now, what can we do? What can we do in defense of ourselves so that the bank, that the investor can't charge us 360 times? I get tired just thinking about it. Let's just say we made this first payment here. I make my first payment, and I've made that payment in January. And because of that, they have given me a schedule. Don, I would need you to make these principal payments: 194, 195, 196.52, 197.68, 198.80, the 198.85. And look at all of my principal payments in the first year. If I do it according to the schedule, these are rungs on a ladder. Each payment, okay? 194, 195, 196, and it goes all the way down to 207.24. I make all of those principal payments in 1 year. It adds up to $2,407.98. But look at this. All these $1,400 payments in interest. The interest, listen, folks, somebody's got a hot mic. Oh, that's you, Credit Goddess. All right.
My apologies.
That's okay. You're working, girl. You're working. All right. The principal payment allows the bank to charge you interest like this, $17,098.02 in this schedule. They're scheduling your principal payments. They're scheduling how much money gets credited to your balance. And if you follow this schedule, the interest payment, all the interest payment does is slow down your payment of your mortgage. That's all it does. Because it doesn't give the investor any more money each month. The investor gets the same amount of money each month, the same amount. So what does this thing actually do? What it does is it ensures that if you follow it, they get to charge you 360 times, so they can get their full payment 360 separate times. But because of how this interest is calculated, so little money goes to principal in the beginning that if you follow this schedule, they get to keep charging. Because so little goes to principal. Let me show you something. This is what they're afraid of. Here's what real estate investors are afraid of that buy mortgage-backed securities. And if you want to see it for yourself, okay, mortgage-backed securities, or MBS, mortgage-backed securities, I need you to do a search on your own, okay? Search it on your own, and then search managing prepayment. Mortgage-backed securities, managing prepayment. You will see so many articles, so much math, so many strategies around the fact that more than anything else, listen, prepayment scares investors more than non-payment. Prepayment scares them more than non-payment, that you would default on your loan. Do you know why? Do you know why? Across the planet, most people will pay their mortgage. Some people will not, but most will. I'm talking about, it's a high percentage, and it's way into the 90s of how many of you will pay your mortgage. But you're going to pay it just like this. They can count on it because we're not being taught how it works. They can count on that. So they're not really looking at how many people default when things are good. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a default, and then, they'll do a calculation on that. They'll do a calculation on it. But what's important to them is please don't understand what happens when you prepay. So let's see here, folks. Can somebody help me who's on stage? All right. LaShawn, are you there with me?
I'm here.
Are
Yes.
you also watching on YouTube?
I was trying to, but I'm multitasking.
Okay.
And so wasn't able to do so.
That's okay. So, but you're here, right? You're here right now. So I'm going to give you the numbers, and I need you to help me. Okay. In the very first payment, $194.22 goes to principal. I'm looking at my schedule, and on my schedule, it says $195.37 goes to the second payment, $195.37. Okay. Here's my question to you, LaShawn. Do I have to wait till the next month to give the bank that $195.37?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No.
I could give it to them in the same month?
Absolutely.
Well, if I do give that to them, then what happens is I'm paid down to the 241,000 for 1546. That is the number on line 2 of my schedule. I'm already on line 2 of my schedule in the same month. Let's say I started out in January. All right. I pay my regular mortgage payment, and I said, oh, $195.37. Let me give the bank this $195.37 early. And what happens is now they have to take their magic number. All right. They have to take their magic number, their 7. All right. Let's clear this out. All right. 7.103. All right. And divide it by 12. And now they have to multiply it by line 2 on my schedule instead of line 1, which is 241 for 1546. All right. Multiply by 241,000 for 15.46 equals 1428.97. 1428.97. Oh, but look here. Do you see that the third number is an 8? So you have to round up the 7 to an 8. So it's 1428.98. Look at the interest payment on line 3. Are you telling me that if I give the bank the 195.37 early, I skip down to line 3 for the next payment, I skip over this 195 that gets accredited, I get to accredit 196.52, which means I'm going to pay $1,430.13 less interest overall. Just that one move, parents, just that one move saves me $1,430.13 I never have to pay. What? Yeah. So let me break this down for you. Let me break it down even further. If we take a look at our principal payment here, all right, of $2,478.98. Okay, $2,407.98. Here's my question. Okay, I see you, Miss McKinley. I see you. Let me ask you, Miss McKinley. In the first year, I'm going to pay my principal down by this much money, $2,407.98. Do I have to pay that over 12 monthly installments? Or could I if I had it, could I give them the 2,407 in 1 month? If I had it, could I give them the 2,407 in 1 month? What do you guys think? Could I do that? If I had it, what would happen if I
Yes,
did?
you can.
All right. So okay. All right. So here's what happens if I do that. All right. I'm making my. I'm going to take my. Then I would be paid down to here in just 1 month. I'd be paid down to here in just 1 month. So now this is my new mortgage payment. This is my new mortgage payment. 200. My new mortgage amount. 239,397.07. So we're going to take this number. We're going to copy it. We're going to put this in our. We're going to put this number in our principal amount. Okay. Paste. We're going to take that comma out. All right. And our payment. All right. Let me see here. Make sure I've got the right payment. All right. Our payment amount is $1625.50. $1625.50. We're going to copy that. All right. $1625.50. All right. 240. All right. Wait a second. Did I lose something here? Yeah, I lost one of these. That's the one I want. Let me move that over here. Okay. Here's the same payment goes in. Paste that. Okay. 1625.50. 1625.50. All right. I prepaid this amount, 2407.98. Now I'm paid down to here in 1 month. All right. I'm paid down to here in 1 month. What happens next? So I got the same interest rate. So now I'm going to take out the number of payments. Let's see how many payments I have left. 348 payments. Folks, that is exactly 12 payments less. That's 12 fewer times they can charge me that amount of money because I gave them this much money ahead of time. 2,407.98. Okay. I gave that to them all at once, which means I'm already at the point where I have 348 payments left. I go from payment number 1 to payment number what? 13. What? Look here. 208.47 is my principal. 1417.03. Let's take a look. Let's go back. Here's what I would have. 208.47, 1417.03. I go from payment number 1 to payment number 13 immediately. That means is that's 11 fewer times that the investor can charge me the whole amount of money. Folks, does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you today? All right. 11 fewer times that they can charge me because I gave that to them. So it doesn't mess with how much money they're receiving monthly. They're going to receive $1,625.50 from me monthly. The reason why they're afraid of prepayment is because you just removed 11 of those payments that they can charge you with. I need to hear from you. I need to hear from it. Does this make sense to you? Is this a light bulb moment for you? This is why I say it is financial violence, the way that this thing is taught. Because let me show you something here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you what is really being taught in real estate classes all over the country and probably all over the world. I need you to see one little thing here. Do you see the interest payment here? 1431.28. That is the first interest payment. 1431.28. That's the first interest payment. Now look at the 13th interest payment. 1417.03. It's not that much difference. Do you see? When real estate investors, or when people, take this off my screen, when real estate investors or people who teach this, they're teaching if you prepay, then all you're saving is the money at 7%. What? All you're saving is money at 7%. So if I prepay the 2407.98, all right? Then this is, well, I have this number here, and then I multiply it by an annualized 7%, then I come up with 141703. You know what they're not looking at, ladies and gentlemen? They're not looking at cumulative interest. They're not looking at how much interest is being charged, and they're not adding it up. All they're looking at is, in their calculation, how much interest I paid the first time and how much interest I paid the second time. Do you know I had a real estate investor who teaches classes all over the country? You know what they told me? The only thing I saved was the difference between 1431.28 and 1417.03 minus 1417.03. $15.25. $15.25. You know, because see, I'm not a math person. I never have been a math person. I look at this thing and I see the pictures and the patterns. And the patterns tell me that it's more than $15.25 saved, because here's the difference in this, because it's 6%, ladies and gentlemen. The 6% doesn't change all the way down. It's the same magic number. They get that 7%, that 7% interest rate divided by 12 gives them that same multiplier each and every time. But what they're not looking at is this: the $15.25 difference between interest payment number 1 and interest payment number 13. If you run it through an amortization schedule, you have to hit each one of these numbers to get here if you follow the mortgage schedule. So let me show you another thing that proves this out, okay? I need to show you that the original mortgage amount that they want, here's how much interest they want on this loan: $343,374.95. That's how much interest the investor wants. In fact, this is over and above the amount that they invested in it, the $241,805. Okay, that's what they have invested in it. They want, because of what they invested, they want $343,374 in interest on top of that, which means the total amount that the investor is looking for is $585,180 over a 30-year period. $241,000 invested. I get back $343,000 in interest. Folks, I need you to take a look over here to the right. That's 142% all day. Momlet in me says you can buy another house with that interest you pay. You're so right, Momlet. Okay. What else does she say here? What else does she say? She says, they make it seem like we cannot prepay, like it does not help. It helps us to repay earlier, saves money and time, she says. This way we can buy more than one house in our lifetime. Oh my goodness.
Facts on facts.
Come on. Can I show you?
Facts on facts.
Credit Goddess, you have something to say about this, because I got a little bit more math to show.
I know. Do you want us to do the calculation of how we come up with that math?
Yeah, well, not right now.
Okay.
Not right now.
Well, let me know.
Okay, I will do
Because
that.
I know Archie said that the math is mathing, but I know a lot of them are like, well, how did y'all come up with this math?
Okay.
So yeah, I would love to break that down.
I would love for you to do that. Okay. So, but let me show this, and then we'll go to show you something else. Okay. 142%. Now, how do they get there? How do they get there? I want to show you the difference between this loan, all right, and this one. Remember, if I prepay, I start out here, but if I prepay, my next loan amount is here, 239,397. So let me do a little bit of math here. We're going to take the amount of interest that the bank wanted, that the investor wanted over 30 years, okay, which is 374.95. That's how much money they wanted. Now I have a new loan, okay? I prepaid practically 1 year's worth of principal. Okay, I prepaid 1 year's worth of principal, and now when I do do another amortization schedule, now they're going to get 326 to 7693. So let's do some subtraction. Okay, so we're going to subtract 326,000 to 76.93 equals $17,098.02. That is the true interest savings over the two loans, not $15. Folks, I don't know how they've been teaching this. And this is why so many investors are telling you, don't prepay your mortgage. It doesn't save you that much interest because the way we do the calculation is going to be about $15. You can take that money and invest it and make 7, 10, 15% with that money. Can I show you something that's important here? If I'm saving $17,000 in interest, what did I pay to get it? I prepaid $2407.98. Now, I need everybody to zero in on this. If you don't get anything else, get this part right here. If you're doing something else, stop and look at your screen. If you can't see the screen now, okay, and you have to see it later because you're watching us, you're listening to us on Clubhouse. Let me tell you, we're at 1 hour 5 minutes into this thing. 1 hour 5 minutes in, so you can kind of fast forward it to that. Okay, so here's what I need you to see. Here's how much money we saved. So when you invest money, so when you do something with money and you take a look at what you get for it, that's your return. I'm now going to show you how to figure ROI, return on investment. A penny saved is a penny earned. Not really. A penny saved is actually 2 pennies earned. Because that means money you didn't have to spend one way, you can invest it somewhere else. It's actually going to earn you more because you didn't have to spend it. You didn't have to give it to the bank. Okay? So that is the interest that I saved, $17,098.02. What did I have to pay to get it? $2407.98. So we're going to divide it by the $2407.98 equals 7.1. So if you read if you go online, it says, how do I figure ROI? You do it just like that. What did I invest? What did I get for it? And then you take that number and multiply it by 100 times 100 equals 710% return on your money. 710% return on your money. Ladies and gentlemen, and I said, Ms. McKinley says, I can't believe it. It's true. If the math is here, what the investors are not looking at, ladies and gentlemen, they're not looking at the total amount of interest that they're paying over a certain amount of time. And if they're not looking at it, the math that they're looking at is right. It's just applied incorrectly. The math says that the difference between this interest payment and this interest payment, because it's 6%, is $15. And they're right. But to get to that $15 difference, you have to go through each one of these interest payments that we get to skip if I prepay that. And I need you to remember I told you it was $17,098.02. When we subtracted the difference between this mortgage and this mortgage, I want you to see something. There it is, $17,098.02. That's how much money you save when you prepay that amount of money. It's a 700% return on your money. And then I heard one investor tell me, well, that's over 30 years. No, that's not over 30 years. And I need to break it down to you this way. Okay. Some of you get a lawn service. Let's say they're going to mow your lawn. They're going to mow your lawn 9 times during the summer. 9 times. They're going to mow your lawn 9 times. But you say, listen, I'm going to pay you for 6. I'm going to pay you for 6 lawn treatments. All right. I'll pay you for 6. I'll pay you for 6 up front. Credit me for 9. Okay. So I get a discount. Okay. I get a discount. If they accept, I'm going to prepay them for 6 lawns, for 6 mowings. All right. But they're going to credit me for 9. And they accept that and I pay them. All right. I just saved some money. Now, I need you to tell me, when did I realize the savings? Did I realize the savings when I paid them the money? Did I realize the savings at that point? Yes or no? When do I realize the savings? Somebody tell me. When I pay? Or is it another time? Come on, somebody, talk to me. Well, listen, I'll tell you. Let me put it to you this way. If I prepay for 6 lawns and that guy goes out of business, I just lost that money. Does that make sense? So when do I realize the savings? At the end of the season. When I get all 9 mowings, but I paid for 6. That's when I receive the savings. Does that make sense to you? So if I prepay, I got ADU here. ADU, if you're at a position where you can go to my YouTube channel, go to P.I.L.L Method on a secondary device, you can see what everybody else is seeing. Okay. So if I prepay the $2,400 here, okay, if I prepay it, then I'm already down to line 12. Okay. So when do I experience the savings? I experience the savings after I'm in the loan for 12 months. That's when I experience the savings, when I'm in the loan for 12 months. Let me show you something here. Because listen, if I make 11 more payments, okay, so I'm here on this loan, okay, and in 12 months, I'm paid down to here. All right, so I made one payment over here. All right, I made one payment, and then I prepaid on this new loan. Okay, here's my new loan. Made one payment, then I prepaid. Let's go down 11 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 11 months. There it is. So that means I paid the loan down by $2,362.23, and I would have paid $15,000 in interest to get there if I don't do anything else but just make the regular payments. 11 months later, all right, 11 months later, I'm here, or even 12 months later, I would be here. Okay. To pay it down by this much money and pay $15,000 in interest. Let me show you what it would take to pay this loan down the old way, the way the bank wants me to. What would it cost to pay this loan down by $2,362.23? Let's go back to the original one and go down to, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong. Let's see here. 208. Am I on the wrong one? 239. 241. Okay. And we want to go down 12 payments from here. Hold on for a second. I got a little mixed up. Got too much going on here. 24. And now that's my new payment. 326. 343. 12 months in. 16,921. 18,000. Okay, so you know what? This is what I need to see. I'm sorry. Here's what I need to see. All right, I'm paid down to 230. I'll be paid down to $236,000 on the original loan. 236,000. Okay, 236,000. There it is. Okay, wait a second. Back to the original. All right. So now I'm paid down to 236,812 in 12 months. 236,812 on the original loan. To be paid down to 236,812 on the original loan, how long would it take me? All right. In this way, it takes me 1 year to get here. If I prepay, I get there in 1 year. 236,812. The bank's way, the investor's way to get to 236,812 takes 24 months. It takes 24 months and $34,000 in interest to get there, instead of 12 months and $16,000 in interest. Oh my goodness. Folks, have we been bamboozled? ADU, how are you doing this morning?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. I apologize. So I was on the YouTube channel as well. So my audio was a little off, but Don, I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you for asking. How are you doing this morning?
I'm excellent, man. I'm excellent. We're just showing what actually happens and how this thing is being taught in classes all over the United States, where we're looking at the amount of interest that's actually saved when we prepay. We just proved here that the interest savings on prepaying one year's worth of principal is over $17,000 on this loan, where the real estate investors or people who are saying, don't pay off your loan, take that money and invest it. 20%, 25%, 30% cash on cash return. We just show by prepaying $2,400 here and saving $17,000 in interest is a 700% return on your money. And you get that in 1 year. You realize it. You have to stay in the loan for 1 year to realize those savings. I defy any real estate investor anywhere to say, how much would it how long would you have to keep $2,400 in an investment to make $1,700? I'm saying $17,000 to make $17,000 in interest. How long would you have to keep it there, no matter what interest rate you're telling me right now? Whether it's 10%, 15%, 20%, 30%, whatever you're getting on cash return, whatever you're getting realistically in real estate investing, how long would you have to keep $2,400 in to make $17,000? There's no way you'll be able to do that in 12 months. No way. You can't. No, I don't know of an investment where you can make 700% in 12 months. This is sure. Anything else you do is speculative. Any other type of investing is speculative. Plus, anything you make, you got to pay taxes on. You don't have to pay taxes on your savings. By taking money and investing it here, that is $17,000 you don't have to spend to get the same amount of equity. That's $17,000 you can invest somewhere else. Any questions?
Hey, Don,
Any comments? Go ahead, ADU.
apologies, Don. I didn't mean to interrupt. But you wrote the Pill Method book, and I think that's actually a great title for your second book, which is You Don't Have to Pay Taxes on Your Savings. Like when you said that, I was like, ooh, Don, that sounds like another great title for your second book.
Thank you for that. Hey, Rose.
Yes.
Rose, listen. I did a shortcut on trying to
Uh-huh.
show people how this interest is actually charged. I did a shortcut. You know why I did a shortcut?
Why?
Because I look at things differently. I see things in pictures and patterns. So my brain
Mm-hmm.
takes the shortcut. My teacher would tell me,
Ah.
Don, show me the work. And I would say,
Yes.
I don't know how to show you the work. I just know how to get the answer.
So true, like many of us.
So this is why I wanted to, this is why I put to last, because there are some people here that want to see the work. So are you actually looking at what we're working with here?
Let me pull it up. I was
Okay.
on the website, but
Yeah.
let me go back.
The-
Pillmethod.com.
no, just go to YouTube.
Just go to YouTube?
Yep.
Okay.
YouTube and search for Pill Method. And click on the live.
Well, Don,
Yes.
that is another familiar voice. I have not heard Rose's voice in 2 years.
Hey, Rodrigo.
All right. Tell me when you're there. Okay. So
I am there.
this is the number we're dealing with. 241,805.05, and the interest rate is 7.103. All right. And
Mm-hmm.
what else do you need to work with? What do you need me to put on the screen?
Nothing else. I got the principal, the interest. That's all I need.
Okay.
And also we need to also see the breakdown, the amortization schedule, so that way they can see the work.
Okay. There's the
live.
amortization. There's the amortization schedule breakdown right there.
All right. Awesome. All right. I want you guys to follow me because I'm actually going to break down the work so that way you guys can see it for yourself and how this is calculated. And I know, Courtney, you were waiting on this. So let's do this. So I'm going to need you guys to pull out the calculator, and I'm going to give you guys the formula of how interest is calculated, right? I know when we first financed our vehicle, right? And they showed you the price of the car and the interest rate. And after the term, this is what you're going to completely pay for. And it's like, how did you come up with that number? Like, where did that number come from? What is this extra cost? And we all call it a finance fee, right? But I want you guys to understand, how did they come up with this number and how much you truly pay for the house and the car with the interest rate that you were given. Okay. Hey, freight. All right. So let's do this. So we have the numbers. What is that? $241,610.83. Is that what we're working with?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I was
Awesome.
on mute.
All right. Okay. So that is the first. This is the cost of the home. You bought the home. You bought it for $241,805.05. That is the cost. That's the sticker price. And then you were given 7.1% interest rate. So let's do the calculation. So we're going to pull out the calculator. The formula is that you're going to take the principal amount that you owe, and then you're going to multiply that by 7.1%.
Do
And it's
seven,
going to give you,
so it will come out correctly. Do a 7.103
yeah.
because you're going to compare it with the
You,
amortization
oh, you
schedule.
know what? Let's do all the numbers then.
Yep.
Yes. $241,805.05, and then multiply that by 7.103. And then if you guys have the calculator and you see the percentage, go ahead and press that percentage sign. And then it's going to move the decimal over. And then we're going to press equal. All right. And what it's going to give you is what you have paid is the APR. Okay, we all heard what the APR stands for. It stands for annual percentage rate. That's the percentage of the interest that you're going to be charged for the whole entire year. If you continue on making the minimum payment every month, but let's find out what the interest cost that we're paying for what we're financing that month. So we're going to divide it by 12, okay, to get the number. All right. And this is where we're going to compare what we have on our calculator and on the amortization schedule. You guys going to see is this exact number. Okay. So what we have is $1,431.28. Do you see that? Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Yes, you see that right there. The first line, Don. Yes, the interest. $1,431.28. You see that?
So listen, Rose, I need a little help because
Okay.
showing all the work. All right. So
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take my original amount, my
Okay.
241,000
Mm-hmm.
805
Mm-hmm.
point
And
zero
5 cents.
five.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to
Yeah.
multiply it by 0.07103.
Yes.
Okay. 0.07103
Mm-hmm.
equals 175.41, and I divide this number by 12
By 12. Uh-huh.
equals 1431.28.
Yep.
Look at there. I did all of the work. I did all of the work, ladies and
You did
gentlemen.
all the work. You did all the work.
I did all of the work.
Yes.
Now,
All right.
here's what the real estate investors are saying. Rose, if you prepay, we're going to prepay 2407.98. Okay, we're going to prepay 20, and then when we prepay that, all right, this is going to be our new number. Okay, 239,397.07.
Yeah.
Okay, they're saying that when they do the math, okay, they're going to get a different number because it's the 6%. They're doing an annualized 7% number. They're doing annualized 7% interest rate. Will you do the same math for the 239,397.07? Would you do the same math for that one, please?
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go down to that number.
Right.
Okay, 239,000.
Okay. You're muffled a little. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. My finger was on the mic. Okay, $239,397.07.
Okay, wait a second. I'm listening. I'm going slow.
Okay.
239,397.
Uh-huh.
Okay. 0.07.
397. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what do I do?
0.07. And then you're going to multiply by the interest rate. What was the interest rate? The 7.1 or a 6?
It's 7.103.
Okay. So multiply that by 7 point, or you can just move the decimal over,
Okay.
0.07103.
Okay, 0.07103. Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
it's fine. It's fine. Just multiply.
I gotta delete here. I got too many numbers.
Okay.
07. All right. All right. And now I'm gonna multiply by point 0.7103.
0.
All right.
Uh-huh.
I've got this number, $17,000.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
And then I divide that number by 12.
By 12, yes.
Okay. By 12 equals, I did it wrong. I did something wrong. Okay.
You didn't put the 0 after the point.
Oh.
You put the 70% instead of 7.
See? This is why I would get in trouble in class all the time. I would get in trouble in class all the time. So let me do it one more time. All right.
Okay.
So we've got 239,379. 397.07 times 0.07103, right?
Yep.
And then I divide this number by 12.
Yes.
Okay. Divide this. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Divide this by 12. Okay. 141703. There it is on line 13. 141703. Okay. So here's what they're telling. Here's what they're telling us, Rose. When we did that first number, all right, of 1431. Okay. This is what we've got for interest. All right. We got 1431.28. All right. And we subtract that by our new interest payment of 141703 minus 1417.03 equals, that's $14.25. You see, they're saying that because they're not looking at all the interest payments in between, that's all I save, because it's any money. Because I read even an article on Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Finance, that if you prepay your loan, you're only earning money at 7.103%, because that's the multiplier. Can't be, because 7% is the difference is $14.25.
Right.
Between the two numbers.
Right.
And that's why they're saying don't prepay your loan, because you're not going to make that much. It's not going to do you that much good.
Well, I mean, you asked the question earlier. Do you save in the beginning when you pay it, or after the save, like after you paid it?
Exactly. After.
So I guess, so after, right. Once you've hit the maturity of the loan, then you would see the savings. But if we're looking at it at this moment, you're not seeing the difference. But you just knocked off how many lines?
You knocked off.
If we would,
you knocked off a total of 12 payments, the regular payment, and then 11 additional payments you never have to make.
Exactly.
With the interest payments there. So after 1 year, you realize $17,000 worth of interest savings.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Oh man.
But the only way that you would know is if you have the schedule in front of you,
Yes.
not just doing the numbers and feeling as though you only save $14. You just knocked off 12 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to show. This is what I'm trying to tell everyone is that if you don't understand prepayment, if you don't understand what it's all about, why real estate investors, people who invest in mortgage-backed securities, are so afraid of prepayment is because the amount of money they're going to be able to receive, let me see here. Where is that? 24. Okay, what is that? 24. All right. They're $1,625.50. They want to receive that every month for as long as they can. If you prepay 1 year's worth of principal, which is around $2,400, that's 12 fewer months they'll be able to charge you. And that's where the savings come in. So every time you prepay, this is why we're saying we're going to show you at the P.I.L.L method how you can pay off your loans in about 7 years by saving up your money that's left over after all the bills are paid and plopping down chunks on your mortgage, money you are going to have to pay the bank anyway, but you choose the timing. If you let the bank choose the timing, you're going to bring your loan down by these $190 some payments getting into the $200 payments. You're just bringing your loan down by $198 to $200 a month starting out. That's their timing. And when you do their timing, they're going to charge you 360 times. But if you can save up some of your money and apply it to principal, you knock out several months and several $1,000s worth of interest savings and pay it off in about 7 years instead of 30 years. So if you want to know more about that, folks, I'm going to put my link at the top of the page right now. Let's put it at the top of the
This
page.
is where the statement, the young lady said that you can buy 2 houses in your lifetime applying this method.
Exactly.
But the interest cost that you save, that interest cost could go towards another home.
Wow. And that's important, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to know more about this, I'm going to go on screen so you can see this. All right. I'm going to put this right on the screen, take my amortization formula right out and put in ice10k.com. When you go to ice10k.com, you can just scroll down under the picture there of E.T., the hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas, who paid off his mortgage using the P.I.L.L method, and click on the button that says Get Your Savings and Earnings Report. Oops, get your free savings and earnings report. What does that mean? You can know the month, day, and year you're debt free and how much interest you could save using this theory, because it's not just saving money and interest. It's not just throwing money at the debt. You want to optimize your interest savings, meaning you want to save the most interest per dollar applied. So once we continue to do the math, if you can save $6 in interest for every dollar you apply to principal, why would you ever want to save $3 in interest for every dollar? It's still a savings, but not when you could have saved 6. And if you don't have a way of measuring, you can't tell the difference between saving 6 or saving 3. We're going to give you the measurements. We're going to tell you exactly how much money to move, what month to move it in, what day of the month to move it on, and which loan to attack so that you will pay the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible for you. You can get your savings and earnings report by filling this out. Follow the instructions here. Step 1, put in your information. Step 2, once you get this, then you put in your financial information on step 2. And my staff will get that information, and then we will put together a savings and earnings report. So Rose, what's a savings and earnings report?
A savings and earnings report is pretty much a report on showing what you are saving
Exactly. So if
overall. Yeah.
so I'm going to put one up here. So this is the report you're going to see. Okay, let's put this up here. This is a report on a $2 million loan. 2,236,000. The bank wanted 1,123,000. We're going to show this guy, instead of paying the bank 1,123,000, this real estate investor is only going to pay 243,000 instead. That's over $800,000 worth of interest savings. Instead of paying off in 21.9 years, this real estate investor is going to be done in 4.9. With the interest savings over the next 17 years, can turn it into over $9 million. $9 million. Well, Don, what about a smaller home? Is a smaller loan? Let's take a look and see if we have something there. Oh, here's one. How about this one? This loan is only $237,000. All right. The bank wants, the bank wants $161,000 in interest to pay this off in 28.8 years. We're showing this particular client how to do it in 10.3 years and only pay out about $70,000 and take the interest money over $90,000 in interest savings and turn it over into $600,000 for their family instead of giving it to the bank.
Ooh, I love that.
That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This thing that we've got here, it gives you a payment you can afford. The amortization gives you a payment you can afford, but it is way too expensive to maintain. But we lose track of how much interest we're paying. We lose track of how this thing actually works. And the thing that controls the loan is not the interest cost. The thing that controls this loan is your principal payment. If you keep making these principal payments to this loan and get credited for the principal the way they want you to, you have to pay 360 times before it's done. And that is what I call financial violence. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments today about anything?
And you wonder why they don't teach you this in school.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Imagine if they taught us this in school.
Yes. Wow. Oh, listen, I got some comments here. Miss McKinley from not Australia, but New Zealand says, I cannot express my gratitude. This is what she says. I cannot express my gratitude to you, Don. I have been blessed today. Eric Toombs online saying, let me see here. What else she says? She says, how do you get more people to know about this? Oh, well, let's do this. Let me go back. Hey, Miss McKinley, here's how you can help. How do you get more people to know? Let's go back to my 10K card. It is this simple. Fill this out today. Go to ice10k.com. Okay, this is how do more people get to know this? And you'll see a button there that says become an affiliate. Become an affiliate. It takes 15 seconds to fill out. You put your name, your phone number, and since you're in Auckland, New Zealand, we'll call you using what's that app? All right. So we'll call you on WhatsApp. All right. So don't worry about that. Give us your WhatsApp number, put in your email, and tell us how you want to get paid. Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. All right. Tell us how you want to get paid. And by sharing this information with others, all you have to do is find someone who is so tired of giving all that money to the bank and then point them to our YouTube channel and let them watch the videos. That's all you have to do. Point them. You don't even have to tell them which videos. They'll find the videos that speak to them. Let them watch the videos for 2 days. Call them with don't let more than 48 hours pass. Call them up and says, do you want more information? When they say yes, then here's what you do. You go back to the ice10k.com card. You scroll down underneath my picture here and click on refer a friend. And you put their information in here, their name, their phone number, their email address, their zip code, and put your name and phone number in as the one who referred them, and give us any other information we need to help them that you think is relevant. Like they're in this time zone, or whatever. And then so that we don't call at the wrong time, especially if they're in New Zealand. Okay, we definitely don't want to call at the wrong time. All right, so you fill that out and then we'll call them. When they become a client, we will pay you $300 US. You send us 2 in the same month, that second one is worth $400. You send us a third one in the same month, that third one is worth $500. A fourth one is worth $600. And if you send us a fifth one in the same month, we're going to double the $600 and make it $1,200 for a total of $3,000 US for pointing people to our YouTube channel so that they can see these videos, so they could see the numbers for themselves and say, I am tired of doing what we've been doing. We want to do it differently. Okay. And when we do that, we will pay you. So I can't talk to everybody. I can't see everybody. That's why I need your help. All right. I need your help to get this out. So Rose, what do you think? And ADU, what do you think about our affiliate program?
I love it. I love it. Listen, because if you share, and I want to kind of break this down to some people that, when you get into business, you have to market yourself. So it's either you're going to put marketing dollars in, or you're going to take those marketing dollars and put it in the hands of the people. And that's what ICE is doing for you guys. He's putting the marketing dollars in the hands of you guys to share this information with others, because guess what? It is the word of mouth is much powerful than anything else, because it's coming from you, especially from friends and family that knows you and trusts you and trust your recommendation. This is a perfect opportunity. You guys sat in class. You guys learned everything about what Don is sharing with you guys. So what better place for it to come from is from your word of mouth, right? Than rather, seeing this on TV. I mean, what's the probability of your friends and family seeing this information? So coming from you, he's putting the marketing dollars in your hands. I love this because guess what? This is extra money. This is supplemental income that you can actually put towards your debt, or maybe go on vacation and treat yourself. But imagine if you were to be equipped with this information and to share with others, and he already did half the work for you. The information is on YouTube. All you have to do is share. So definitely join the affiliate program and join this movement. Let's help others get out of this financial bind, and into financial freedom. And it's just applying the knowledge. Applied knowledge is the power. All right, back to you, Don.
All right, listen, folks, I have on the screen right now, I am going to be doing an 8-week series with Living Manna Ministries. It's an online church starting October 12th. And here are the times. It'll be 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific time. We're going to do 8 weeks starting Thursday, October 12th. The information is on the screen. All right. And if you want to find a Living Manna online church, you can easily find them on YouTube, and they are on Facebook, and their links are down below on the flyer. So I will be doing a presentation called Money Answers All Things, Bridging Faith and Finance Through Stewardship. And that is going to start in October 12th on Thursday. And we're going to run 8 Thursdays. Well, we're going to take time off for Thanksgiving. But we're going to run 8 Thursdays. And We pray that you will get a lot of good information there when it comes to understanding stewardship. All right. And understanding taking care of your money and not giving it away to the banks. All right.
Hey, good morning, Don. I wanted to add something, if
Yes,
that's
please.
okay. All right, so look, what Don and Rose are illustrating and talking about is, you know, do you remember um, hearing about, or maybe you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by
Yes.
Robert Kiyosaki? So remember how Robert had two dads. He had his uh his biological dad, which he called his poor dad, and then he had his mentor, which was the rich dad. So what his rich dad taught Robert was that your home is an asset, but because of the financing, because of the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, which is based on compound interest principles, it's an asset to the bank. So I'll repeat that. What he said in his book that his rich dad taught him is that it's an asset to the bank and a liability to you. Why? Because of compound interest. It works to benefit the bank, not you. So, what Don and Rose are illustrating is how you could take that power or some of the power. And the reason why I say some of the power is because you will be paying interest on the money that was borrowed. But you can take back some of the power by accelerating your payoff and reducing the interest cost, the interest that is paid to the bank by following the P.I.L.L method.
Yes, by about 75%. And what's great about all of that, ladies and gentlemen, is that you don't have to sacrifice lifestyle to do it. You can live very well. You can even increase your savings and pay off all of your debt, not just your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, your car loans, everything in an average of 7 to 9 years once you know how. And we're going to show you how. Not even, we're going to give you some, we're going to make sure that you have the technology that's going to do the math, but also we're going to make sure that you get the coaching so you can understand what is happening so that you can teach it to your family, to your children, to your grandchildren, nieces and nephews, the young people that need to know. They will need to know because you'll be able to teach them. So make sure that you get that information down, write it down. Starting October 12th, we're going to be with Living Manna Ministries. That's an online church. You can look them up on Facebook and on YouTube. Find it and get ready to log in on Thursday evenings. All right. And the last, let me see here. What else do we have for you today? We're going to put on. Um, you mentioned my book, Rogelio. There it is. It's been a #1 bestseller. It's been a #1 bestseller 6 different times. You can go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com. All right. And you'll be able to, let me take this off now, ice10k.com. And there's a button there that says buy the book. You can get the book today. It is the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that talks about the information we talked about today, not as in depth. When you read the book and use the videos, you can become more knowledgeable about interest cancellation. So get the book, watch the videos. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about getting ready to get out of here, but I've got some comments. Do I have any questions or comments on stage? Raise your hand or come to the stage if you have any questions, if you're in the audience. We want to hear from everybody today. I'm prepared to go over a little bit if I have questions. Okay. Raise your hand, come to the stage, or if you're already on the stage, ask your question. or make your comment. Anybody else? All right. Let me take a look at my. I'm looking in the back channel here. Let's see. Okay. KAALLC says, yeah, we've been bamboozled because the people that offer the loans didn't tell us what you're telling. You got that right. All right. Sherry Banks. So you can request they apply the amount to the interest. No, you request that it goes to principal. All right. So it is subtracted from your principal amount. All right. And what Miss Shireen Banks says that what we've been teaching today, what the banks are doing to us is outrageous. It definitely is outrageous. Mr. Archie says if you can, it says you can watch it on YouTube in real time. Oh, the visual. He says if you can watch it, this will help tremendously. So if you're in a position where you couldn't watch, then make sure you watch the replay on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. You'll be able to see everything. All right. So, any other questions or comments? All right. Be careful. Paris Day.
You know what I do? I do have a comment, Don, because one of the recent comments that you just read, which was, so we've been bamboozled. You know, the banks did not. And so let me clarify that a little bit. So what the banks didn't do specifically is in your closing statements for your mortgage, they did not provide the amortization schedule. That's how they are not specifically showing you. So in your, and it is literally like a mountain of paperwork, right? And it takes you a while because you have to do this with a notary in most states. Um, there is a total cost of your purchase price of the home plus all of the interest. However, the reality is that it's not very clear, right? Meaning it's not like you actually sign right by that. So it is in your in your closing paperwork as you're purchasing the home, but it's not, and it's for a reason that you don't sign right by it to acknowledge that the total of the purchase price plus the interest is going to be. And again, I'll repeat that there is no um, amortization schedule that comes with your closing packet,
Well,
and that's how they're able to get away with it.
to be more precise, what we're showing on screen, ladies and gentlemen, is an amortization schedule that gives you 4 columns: principal, interest, cumulative interest, and principal balance. What you get from the bank only has 3 columns: principal, interest, and principal balance. They don't want you to see how much principal and how much interest adds up over time. They do not want you to see that. Okay. So you will get this: principal, interest, and principal balance. You will not get what we provide for you is cumulative principal and cumulative interest. If any, and now I use this that you see on the screen here, I use this as a teaching tool. If you want to do this for yourself, just go to brettwhistle.net. BRET, let's put it in the chat. BRETWHISSEL.net. All right, brettwhistle.net. I got to take that space out of there. There it is. You can get this same website. I use this as a teaching tool. This is not my program. I just use this as a teaching tool, and you can play around with this yourself and see the numbers yourself. Use this video that you saw today as a kind of a tutor. Get brettwhistle.net and play around with this thing, and so you can see it for yourself. And then go to some of my other videos where you can see the opportunity cost calculator that does all of the math and all the work and guides you to debt freedom like a financial GPS. Any other?
Let me add to that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me add to that. If you're going to use that tool, the variables that you need is find out what's the remaining balance on the principal that you're paying and your interest rate. You need those two numbers, and then that way you'll be able to play around with Brett Russell calculation. That's all you need. So that way you can see what you have left and how the schedule is broken down.
All right, I have a question here. I got lost in the. Somebody asked about prepayment penalties. Okay, is there a penalty for prepaying? In the U.S., right? It's very rare, if ever, you'll find a prepayment penalty for residential property. You will find it more often on commercial. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to think about prepayment penalties for just a minute. Okay, for just a minute. And I want to show you on the screen here. Prepayment penalties. I need you to change that word penalty to cost. Now, what's the question? Somebody tell me. If I say prepayment cost, now what are you going to ask me?
How much is it going to cost you?
How much is going to cost me?
Prepay.
To prepay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prepay.
Now, once I know how much it's going to cost me to prepay, what will make it worth the cost, ladies and gentlemen? What would make it worth the cost?
If it's less than what you're going to pay over time.
You got to do the math. So here's
do the math.
So here's what I'll give you an example of what we did for a client in Canada. So if anybody's on here from Canada, you know that in Canada there are a ton of prepayment penalties on residential properties. So that's very common in Canada. All right. So I showed a Canadian family how they could save $100,000 in interest on their loan. $100,000 in interest on their loan. Okay. They can do that by prepaying. When they prepay, they will trigger what's called a prepayment penalty. On their bank's website, there is a calculator that they could use to figure out how much the penalty was. But guess what? There was no calculator to figure out how much interest they could save. They got that from me. So now they know how much interest we could save. We could save $100,000. We did the calculations together, how much interest, how much the prepayment penalty would cost them. It came up to $1,200 penalty to save $100,000 in interest. You see, folks, if we concentrate only on the penalty, but never look at what our benefit is going to be, all we're going to do is avoid penalties and keep making the monthly payment forever. Does that make sense, everybody? So when it comes to prepayment penalties, ask what is it going to cost me to prepay, find out how much interest you're going to save, and then see if it's worth if it's going to be worth it to you. In most cases, it will be worth it to save the interest and pay the penalty. All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. I'm going back through. That's about it. Okay. Oh, Paris Day. I love the way you said collapsing the time and accelerating to larger portion of installments, hitting and reducing the principal. Listen, I'm going to use that. Listen, Paris, what do you do for a living? All right.
Like that.
I'm going to use it one more time, everybody. Here's what she says. Collapsing the time and accelerating to larger portion of installments, hitting and reducing the principal balance. And here's what this means. Okay. So if I start here, okay, and I prepay, let's say we prepay this amount. All right. My principal amounts start out at $194. If I prepay this, my next principal amount goes to $208. So she's exactly right. By collapsing the amortization schedule, just think about your amortization schedule as a ladder, and we're collapsing it. All right. So we have 360 rungs on this ladder. By prepaying, We just cut it to 348 rungs, just like that. So we are taking steps out. We're collapsing the amortization schedule by prepaying, saving time and saving a boatload of interest once you understand what's going on. So I think that's about it. All right. All right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments, ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here? I only went over by a little bit. I thought I was going to go over a lot more. All right. So we've been here just a little over 2 hours. And unless somebody wants to raise their hand, we're going to be ending the show today, but we'll be back on Wednesday. Now, next Friday and next Sunday, I'm going to be in New York. Right. Next Friday, I'm going to be in New York as my anniversary. 22 years. 22 years with my lovely bride. And so we're going to be in New York, and we're also going to be at RB's thing. RB, the realtor, is having a networking opportunity at a rooftop in Times Square. And Patricia and myself will be there as well, taking in some Broadway shows and doing some other things as well. So as we celebrate. So next Friday and next Sunday, we're going to have replays. Next Friday, next Sunday. And I think one of those replays will be on student loans, since we have to start paying them. So I'm going to have one of the replays on Friday or Sunday having to do with the student loans. And then I haven't chosen what we're going to do for the other replay. But we're going to be right back here on during the week. We're here at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. On Sundays, we are here at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, and we're usually here for about 2 hours. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. I hope if you got something out of this, if I proved the case that modern mortgage lending is financial violence, go ahead and put some flames in the chat. Put some flames in the chat right now if it was proven that modern mortgage lending is financial violence. And now you know that there's something you could do about it. All right. Let's put some flames in the chat there. Thank you, Credit Goddess, for commenting on our anniversary. I appreciate that. All right, folks, this has worn me out. I've got no more questions, no more comments. Let's go ahead and we're going to have a Rogelio. Tell us what you're doing now these days as an outro, and Credit Goddess, we want you to do an outro as well.
Thank you very much, Don. So yeah, Rogelio Martinez from beautiful Long Beach, California. I'm back on this app after about a year and a half absence, and that's because it's a great time. And as a real estate professional, as a lending professional, I know that those are probably words you're not going to hear from somebody else. But the reality is that because it's the most dynamic time in real estate, because of the low inventory on one side and the high interest rates on the other side, it's actually the greatest time because it's the greatest time for opportunity. So most people see the skies falling. I don't see the skies falling. So, anyways, I'm your ADU specialist, accessory dwelling units. And with that, I yield the mic to Rose. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you. Happy Sunday.
Welcome back, Rodrigo. You are going to be a really good asset if you're going to start teaching about ADUs. Since we are in a housing crisis, for those that own homes, definitely need to look into ADUs to help other families. So I hope to see more of you on this app. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode. Was it 234 episode? Don?
Oh no! This is 200.
Where are we?
This is 266.
Oh my goodness, I'm so way off. 266. 266 episode. Congratulations on that and on your consistency. This is what consistency looked like. Never gave up. But his heart is in it. This is what he does. And I'm glad that you guys tune in today to get this information, and definitely share this information with others. Definitely join in on his affiliate program. This is a great way to get the information out there, because, you know, if we're going to be waiting on schools, if we're going to wait on the banks or anybody to tell us how to save on interest costs over time and build generational wealth, it ain't going to happen in this lifetime. So definitely help Don on his crusade on this. But my name is Rosa Laura Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit. I'm a credit score improvement strategist. Not only do I help my clients repair their credit, but through education, I do help them improve their credit, maintain their credit so they can be in the best position for financing, getting the best interest rates on purchasing their home, car, starting a business, whatever that is. We definitely have to focus on getting the best position to get the best rate and the best term. I'm also a business credit coach, NAV business loan broker, and an educator in the credit space here locally to high school and college students. So October 15th, cross my fingers, October 15th, I am launching my credit community. It's complimentary to anyone that wants to be a part of it, because I am so busy. I've partnered with banks, realtors, mortgage brokers, and helping their clients is just way too many for me to do. I'm stretched on all different directions, and the best way to educate the community is group sessions, communities, groups. So I did start a Facebook group. I'm relaunching the Facebook group. So far, I have like 600 people ready to come in, 1,200 already inside from previously, but I'm relaunching this. And I want, for those of you guys that have family members, friends, or even yourself that needs the credit education, this is going to be a DIY. It's going to give you all the information that you need, a whole complete guide to follow. If you do need group sessions, I am going to be starting that on quarterly sessions, where we're going to do this with you. We're going to actually establish and build credit with you for those that are more hands-on kinesthetics and visual learners. And then for those that are way too busy to even partake and they need, the service done, I'm still going to have that service available to you guys. But I encourage you and I empower you to learn this on your own, because credit repair is your doing. You don't need to hire a credit repair company to do it unless you're just way too busy. But once you understand and learn, then it's so easy to apply and monitor and build and maintain. So that is what I'm offering. The group is called CREAM, which stands for Credit Rules Everything Around Me. CREAM, get the money, dollar bill. So I'm all about that. So definitely tap into the group on Facebook. It's called Cream League. And I'm not approving anyone until I'm ready to launch the group. So if you're waiting and pending, it's not because I don't see you. It's only because I'm just waiting for the content to be completed in the group. So once you come on in, you can start taking the challenge and start improving your credit on your own. So definitely tap in on that. So that's what I have going on, you guys. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
I hope you're gonna write that book, Rose. Can you
What?
please write that book?
What book?
I mean, look, you just did a play on words of one of the greatest hip hop tracks ever.
I know.
That should be a title of your book.
Uh-huh.
Don's made a book, The Pill Method. He's about to write a second one, and you got to write yours. And it's literally cream,
Cream.
just like you just said. Credit. But say it again.
Credit rules everything around me, and it does.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
Rose Allure. There you go, Credit Goddess.
Yes.
all right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rogelio. I appreciate you guys. So, folks, here's what's happened. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And for 18 years, we've been telling the truth about how lending works. We're getting this information out. We're live 3 times a week on Clubhouse, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, so that not only do you hear about it, but we actually show you the numbers to prove what we're telling you is the truth. You get to see it for yourself. So we'll be back here on Wednesday, and then we go on vacation for 2 days. But I wanted to share with you again how to get your savings and earnings report. Go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and click on that link that says get your savings and earnings report. And then let me get rid of this banner. All right, I got to fix the banners here. Hold on, got to fix it up. There it is. There it is. Get your savings and earnings report for free. Know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, and how you can and how much interest you can save. Also, don't forget, get the book. Go back to the Ace 10K card and then click on the button that says get the book. Only this is the only one on Amazon that talks about this subject. All right. And this is the cover of the book. And we've been there for what? We've been a best seller at least 6 times on Amazon. All right. And not only that, but starting October 12th, we're going to be online again, but with Living Manna Ministries. So look them up on YouTube, look them up on Facebook. We're starting an 8-week series starting October 12th, and we're going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Mountain, and 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We're looking forward to sharing time with you. It is also going to be recorded if you need to make the replays. And the last thing, but not least, last but definitely not least, we want you to get your become an affiliate with the P.I.L.L Method. Become an affiliate. Help us to share these videos. That's all you have to do. Share the videos, follow up with people, and then click on refer a friend if they want more information. We'll take it from there. And for that, you can make between $300 and $3,000 a month. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. We're going to be ending this room in just a few seconds. Here's your last opportunity to raise your hand and ask a question. If not, we're going to end this session, this room, this class, all right, in 5, 4, 3. Oh, we can't end it yet. Oh, we didn't hear from E.T., the hip hop preacher. We usually go out with him. He takes us out. He has the last word. All right. I need you to listen to what he has to say, and then it'll be our theme music. But we'll see you guys the next time around. Be back on Wednesday, but next Friday and next Sunday will be replays. See ya.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.